Oh, you made it. Thank you so much for trusting me to go on this journey with me for 5 days to greater body love and wild soul living. Now, I want to get you all ready for next week so you can be prepared and you can get the most out of this experience. All right. So first things first, make sure to mark off your calendar from the 12th through, until Friday. So it's the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th of February. That's when the 5 day journey will take place. Second thing that's really important is to make sure in your inbox that you have me as a safe sender. So you want to make sure Anita at AnitaAlves.com is there so that I'm not winding up in your spam folder, in your junk mail. So you probably have an email from me now. So just make sure that it's in the right inbox and that way you don't miss anything. That's the most important thing. And then, of course, it's going to be actually taking action. And I just want to remind you why we're doing this, what this journey is about, and a little bit more about what you can expect. Those are the logistics. I always want to have logistics, but what can you expect? You're here to have an emotional shift. So what can you expect on this journey? Well, what I want to start with is why. Why did I decide to create this journey, this experience, this 5 day adventure, whatever you want to call it, challenge if you want to call it, but I like adventure, I like experience better. Yes, it does have to do with coinciding with the week of Valentine's, that's for sure. I've already established that, but there's a deeper reason for that. I want to take you back just a little bit so you can learn a little bit about me if you don't know much about me as a coach or my journey that I had. I got into this work as so many people do around any other work they do because I had my own very difficult and misaligned relationship with body and food. I was a girl, then into a womanhood who really struggled with how much, struggling with how much should I eat, what diet should I be on, over exercising, binge eating, restricting, all of this terrible cycle around how I felt about my body and how I felt about food. Until there was a turning point. It was the first turning point. There were several pivoting points, but the first turning point was actually because of some living situations, circumstances, being kind of forced out of the regular way I was doing things, which was I had everything aligned so I could really kind of carefully control my life and my environment. I had to, for 6 months, live with my grandparents. I was in between apartments. I was finishing my teaching credential, and I didn't have access to a scale. I didn't have access to all of my, because I was commuting to work. There's a lot of things, but I basically, I couldn't overly control my food or weigh myself every day. And I had to sort of loosen the reins. That was a big part of it. The second part of it is that I was in my first I want to say real significant relationship as a young adult. And because I wanted to spend time with my boyfriend and have a life, I could no longer be in my little world of frozen yogurts and carefully counted calorie controlled meals and all of that. I sort of had to start to expand my world. Now, I was terrified of this because I thought for sure that my worst fears would come true and I would just be so out of control with food, all of that. But what I found was that I started to have a more peaceful and aligned relationship with food. And it wasn't about the food. It was, but it wasn't. And here's what I mean by that. You may have heard me say that I was in a significant relationship that was really important to me. I also was at the time starting my teaching career. So I was finishing a credential program and about to start the thing that at the time I wanted to do more than anything else in the world. So all that to say that there were changes happening around food and movement because I couldn't be so controlled about what I was eating and how I was moving my body, which, by the way, never got me to the result that I wanted. It just made things all the worse. But also, there was this whole other shift happening in my soul life, in terms of things that I had wanted to experience so badly, starting to happen and starting to blossom. And so I was really starting to shift and change as a woman at a very fundamental level. And so that's why I say that was the first pivotal shift. And there were several others along the way And one of them was also when I was going through my eating psychology program, because I will be honest with you, part of my training was in part for me, but it was also in part, it was in part for me to do the work, but it was also in part for me personally to do my inner work. You can't come out of that program and everything that we experienced in our training. And I trained with the Institute for Psychology of Eating for a couple of years, for more than 2 years. So went through a very significant shift there. And one of the fundamentals was actually the work in this book here, Women Who Run with the Wolves. And it really, really spoke to and really highlighted a lot of the work that we were doing in our training. And in our training at the Institute, it really was, working around people's misaligned relationship or disordered eating, but helping guide and helping individuals heal and find their way really at a soul level, which is why I was so drawn to the work, why I loved it so much. My previous training in nutrition and holistic health was really so much about food and quality of food and all of this. And so when I went into my next program and saw all this beautiful work unfolding around the soul, embodiment practices, it was a tremendous shift, not only for me professionally, but personally. And that is why I want to tell you that when it comes to either changing your relationship with your body or tapping back into your soul life and the way you want to live your life from a very deep, rich, soulful place that feels on purpose, that feels aligned, one of the key tools that is so vital in that is embodiment and embodiment practices. Now, what does that mean? At the time when I trained at the Institute, I never heard this word before, and now I hear it all the time, which in one way is great, but I also feel like sometimes when things are overused, they sort of lose their potency or people misinterpret. But a very simple definition for embodiment is really any practice that brings you fully into your body, into your skin. And we can do that in so many ways. And that's part of what we're going to do on this 5-day journey. So I can't give all the goods now. I'm just setting you up front. But embodiment is a massive tool on how to do that. And so this journey will take you through that. And when we start to become embodied and really in our skin, another magical thing happens. I've said in the previous video, is that body and soul work in tandem. They're in deep connection, deep correlation. And so when we can invoke embodiment practices and connect to sacred body wisdom, we also deeply connect to our soul life, because it's almost inevitable. Like if you're fully in your skin, you cannot really dismiss the soul, because the soul will speak and connect through the body, and the body will inform the soul of like, here's what's happening on the outside world. Are we connected? Is this aligned? Is this feeling like the right next step and place to go? So it's a beautiful synchronistic relationship that happens to unfold. And so I'm so excited to share with you some of my favorite tools and practices around embodiment practices, which do lead to a greater sense of body love, a greater sense of body trust, a greater sense of body wisdom and connection to your body partner, right? Which I said in the previous video, we're thinking about love, we're thinking about connection. Here's the love and connection that really we always need to keep fostering and building. And in tandem to that, now we have an opening also to tap into resources like our intuition, the messages from our soul, downloads, right? Things that feel like, I don't know where that idea came from, or space for ideas that maybe we've blocked down, pushed down, and didn't want to give voice to. Now they'll have an an avenue in which to arise and speak and hopefully be listened to. That sounds very ambitious for 5 days. I realize. So, it is going to be a start of a journey. And we'll talk later at the end of that journey, about other ways in which you can continue that unfoldment. But my promise to you is to give you at least a beautiful start to that. Practices that will mean something to you. If you actually do them and you take consistent action, you're going to feel a shift at the end of those 5 days. Will all body image issues be gone? No. Am I promising at 5 days, the life you dreamed of, your whole life will manifest? No. I'm not going to try to sell you false promises. But what I can say is that if you do take consistent action and you give yourself this space and you love and honor yourself on this week of love, that you will feel a shift. You will feel more connected to your body. You will start to create a space to hear your creative spirit, your downloads, your intuition. You are going to leave feeling more connected to the authentic you that wants to be expressed. That I can say. So I'm very excited to be on this journey with you. Please let me know how it's going in the journey. I want to hear from you. Don't be shy about replying to emails. Let me know. I'll be definitely checking my inbox more than I usually do. I want to hear from you and know how this is all going and what's unfolding. Some things that you can have handy, probably a journal will be good, something to write with, journal to take notes. You'll be able to, at least during the time of this, I don't know how long I'll leave videos live, but during the time of this journey, you'll be able to go back during that week and go back and see previous videos and kind of catch up. So you'll have access to that. I don't know how long they'll be live, but during the time of this week, you'll have access to that. But definitely, write, take notes, give yourself that space and carve out a little sacred time for yourself. Like maybe make it really beautiful. Maybe when you're going to sit down and open my email or do the video or whatever, like maybe you make it something beautiful. Maybe you light a candle or you give yourself a little flower by your desk. I don't know, but just something that makes it feel special to you, if you can. I want to make this as doable as possible for you, because here are the things I always hear. I don't have enough time, money, resources, time usually is what it is. I've tried things like this before. They haven't worked for me. I'd love to also invite you to just come into this with an open mind and an open heart to see maybe something different will unfold. You're not the same you as you were yesterday or year before, the last time maybe you endeavored on something like this. You haven't done this with me, so that's going to be a new experience. So definitely any of those objections, I don't have enough time, well, you can come back and watch the replay. You can come back and open the email at a different time. These are going to be short and doable. So there's that. Money, well, at least this part, right, is absolutely free to you. So there you go. And it hasn't worked for me before. Well, again, you're not the same person. I'm not the same coach maybe, or person that you worked with in the past. And we're always evolving and changing. So come into it with an open and fresh mind. I think that about does it. So I will see you on Monday the 12th, and we'll get started. Let me know if you have any questions. You can email me, anita@anitaalbos.com. Otherwise, I will see you then. Bye for now. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to go on this journey with you. Take care. See you.